The meeting of the Middlesex County School Board will now come to order. Please stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may now be seated. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda as far as the 30-day superintendent contract.
All right, and that would go in new business.
Yes.
Are there any objections? Motion is carried. Then may I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is carried. We will now move to public announcements of upcoming Middlesex County Public School events. And there are quite a few. May the 12th to the 15th is division-wide SOL testing. May 13th, we'll have a concert here by the MHS band and choir at 6 o'clock. Promises to be a very enjoyable evening, so I encourage you to come out and listen to some really good music. The same day, May 13th, Bridging Communities commencement at New Kent High School at 6 p.m. On May the 17th is our baccalaureate for all graduates at Harmony Grove Baptist Church at 7 p.m. On May 18th is Speech Pathologists Day. On May 21st, St. Clair Walker National Junior Honor Society Showcase and induction at St. Clair Walker Middle School at 5:30 p.m. On May 25th, we're closed for Memorial Day. On May 29th, 8th grade promotion at St. Clair Walker Middle School at 8:45 a.m. and 5th grade promotion at SCW at 10:30 a.m. On May 30th, MHS graduation at MHS at 10 a.m. And on June 8th, we will be back here for our regular school board meeting for June. And at this time, I invite Dr. Seitz to present recognitions.
And I have a few. I'm going to ask Dr. Bishop to join me down at the podium as we go through a series of things this evening. All right, first we are going to start off with, we have a visitor here with us this evening. We have Dr. Cheryl Davis with the Chesapeake Chorale, who's here to acknowledge our band and choral programs. I'm going to have her come up. I would also like our band and choral teachers to please come down and join us. We have Ashley Turner with Middlesex Elementary, Carter Lanask at St. Clair Walker, and then Corey Shoemaker, who's band director at the high school, and Regina South, who is our choir director at the high school. And Ms. Davis, Dr. Davis, I will turn that over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Seitz. Dr. Chair and board members and music teachers and everyone here supporting this wonderful, wonderful county. I'm Dr. Cheryl Davis, and I'm the vice chair of the Northumberland County School Board. But I'm here tonight because we moved our meeting, and so I was able to come. And as the artistic director of the Chesapeake Chorale, we have enjoyed this facility for many years. I've directed here myself for 12 years. Never sat in that seat before. I'm always where you are. What a nice seat. We should have more people coming, but today it's to honor these teachers. Every bit of the money that we get from our ticket sales, we give back to the schools that have members in our chorale. And so I'm pleased tonight to give the, just so that you could come up forward and get it, we have the St. Clair Walker director at $400. Thank you so much. Stand right there. And the band and choir director from the high school. And the elementary. Right. And I just want to shake your hand. Thank you so much for letting us do this. Can you give them a big round of applause? For letting us use your space for all these years. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we look forward to coming again this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Davis. And that's what you call a partnership, when they're able to use our facility to bring that music at Christmas time, and then our teachers and our students are able to benefit from their concerts with a monetary donation. And so we very much appreciate that. So next, we are going to move to recognize our Teachers of the Year. And there's a slideshow, so we're going to wait for that to pop up for us before we talk about mathematics. So last week was Teacher Appreciation Week, and we were in our schools serving Mexican lunch, which we hear is a favorite. For the teachers, we enjoy it too, and we eat it all 3 days when Dr. Bishop and I are there. So it's fun being in the schools, but also last week, each of our schools recognized the Teacher of the Year for their building. And we have them here this evening. As I call your names, please come down to the front. We're going to start with Middlesex Elementary and Angela Boucher. Angela is a 5th grade science teacher at Middlesex Elementary. She is fairly new to our division, but in her role there as science teacher, she also plays a part in helping our 4th and 5th grade choir. So she helps with that during the year and helps her colleagues out in other things as they move through all of their extracurricular activities and then preparing for testing. So thank you, Angela, and you're going to stay right here for us, if you will. For St. Clair Walker, we have Patina Janesco. Patina is the art teacher here at St. Clair Walker. And so not only is she the art teacher, she is the team lead for exploratory arts, and she also is a behind-the-scene helper. She's helped over the years with drama club and set building. She's also helped with recent band concerts and corralling kids behind the scenes, and so they're all coming onto stage and off stage when they should. So, Patina, thank you. And then Middlesex High School, we have Kelly Cox. Kelly is one of our Spanish teachers at Middlesex High School, and she also, just like our other teachers, nobody just stays in the classroom teaching that content. You can see Kelly working with our Key Club members. You can see her working in the concession stand and helping with boosters, and so an all-around helper and doer for all of our children. And so all 3 of our teachers, we congratulate you. I think it's going to be a tough decision for our team to determine and name the division-wide Teacher of the Year, because all 3 of these colleagues here bring such a bright smile and warm welcoming to all of our kids at all 3 levels. And so for that, thank you. And so next, we always unfortunately have some folks who retire at the end of the year because they decide it's time to move on to that next thing, which hopefully is not in the work world, but in the retirement world. We have a few of our retirees here this evening, and so we are going to recognize them. And so first I would like to recognize Terry Bell. She is one of our paraprofessionals at Middlesex Elementary School. So she's only been in Middlesex for 2 years, but she brings to us a career in both Chesterfield and in Matthews. And so I'm sure she will be happy to not be up early in the morning and chasing little people. Come on up here, Lynn. Chasing little people around the building that she's been doing for the 2 years that she has been with us. And she represents in her Colts attire tonight here. So we're going to stay right here, Terry. Next is Tina, and I don't know if I saw Tina Atkins. Okay, she was supposed to be here tonight. She's also one of our highly regarded paraprofessionals at Middlesex Elementary and is completing 28 years of time at the elementary school. She was one of our staff who were supposed to be here, so we will certainly congratulate all of our retirees at our end of year gathering on May 28th. So next, I would like to recognize Amy Bull. So this says that Amy has 30 years of service with Middlesex County Public Schools, but she has a total of 34 years in education. She first started at York Academy, and then she went to be a Head Start teacher with the PCDC, and then was able to come on to be one of our staff members at the former Rappahannock Central Elementary School, and stayed in elementary when Middlesex Elementary opened. I know you've been in 4th grade and in 2nd grade and maybe another 2 here or there, finishing up in preschool. And so we are extremely sad to see you leave the halls of Middlesex Elementary, but I have no doubt that you will be enjoying that next step. And so these are our staff members who are retiring who were able to join us this evening. We thank you for all of your time. Please choose one of the plants that are here, and we will recognize you even more at our end of year gathering with all of our staff. So, thank you. So also leaving us this year is our school board representative, Caitlin Hargrove. This is officially the last school board meeting during the school year. And when we have our next meeting on June 8th, Caitlin will already have graduated and have been long gone maybe from Middlesex or maybe waiting to head off to school. We know that Caitlin is going to the University of Virginia where she's going to study commerce. And so we hope that whatever you are learning and doing there, you bring back to Middlesex County. Between that time when you're gainfully employed and doing something in the outside world, we want you to please keep in touch. If you will come down, we do have something to recognize you also. So these are monograms for you. And you've been such a great addition to our school board this year, always being prepared at our monthly meetings and sharing information and events from all 3 of the schools. And so we appreciate that. You've done a great job. We wish you all the best, and please keep in touch with us. You are welcome. And so, Steve, if you will put that last slideshow up for us. And so before I go on and talk any longer, I would ask that maybe Evelina Lawson would come up here and join me. And so it is now time that we recognize probably the #1 overall St. Clair Walker Seahawk fan that was in this county. And I've asked Evelina to come and join me. I know that there are other family members here, but I bring Evelina up in case you did not know. Evelina taught here in Middlesex County Public Schools for 44 years. 41.
And then after I
Substituted.
retired for 9.
Substituted
50
for
in all.
a long, long, long time. And
3 years before I came here.
Evelina is one of Joe's sisters who's here with us this evening. And so what I would like to do, for those of you who are aware and those of you who are not aware, Mr. Fears passed away in February. And when we learned of this, we wanted to certainly recognize him and speak a little bit about his memory and what he did and how we are just honored to have had him here as such a central part of St. Clair Walker and of Middlesex County Public Schools. So I'm going to present to you this proclamation, and then I'm also going to read it so that everyone has a little bit more knowledge. The only reason you don't know who Mr. Fears is means that you did not live in this county until very recently. And so, whereas Joseph Clyde Fears Jr. faithfully served the students and staff of Middlesex County Public Schools for 35 years, 28 of which he served as associate principal and principal of St. Clair Walker Middle School, dedicating his career to fostering student success and educational excellence. And whereas during his distinguished tenure, Mr. Fears demonstrated outstanding leadership, most notably achieving the highest percentage of sixth grade students passing the Literacy Passport exam in the Commonwealth of Virginia in 1990, reflecting his unwavering commitment to academic achievement. And whereas Mr. Fears was known throughout the division for his deep love of children and his steadfast dedication to always acting in the best interest of his students, leaving a lasting impression on generations of learners, educators, and families. And whereas his leadership, compassion, and commitment helped shape a positive and supportive school environment, the impact of which continues to be felt throughout Middlesex County Public Schools. And whereas the Middlesex County School Board, along with the administration, faculty, staff, students, and community, mourn the passing of Joseph Clyde Fears Jr. and honor the enduring legacy he leaves behind. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Middlesex County Public Schools School Board hereby honors the life and service of Joseph Clyde Fears Jr., expresses its deepest appreciation for his dedicated service to the division, and extends its sincere condolences to his family and loved ones. And be it further proclaimed that a copy of this proclamation be presented to his family and entered into the official minutes of the school board as a permanent tribute to his memory, adopted this 11th day of May, 2026, at a regular meeting of the Middlesex County Public Schools School Board. And so I would love for you to say a few words if you would like to. All those years of teaching, I know that you will.
he meant, this county and the school system, it meant a lot to him. And his teachers loved him. I'd like to just read a little excerpt. I got a beautiful card this week from one of his teachers, and I'd just like to read a little bit of it. I truly can't express how much I am about Joe's passing, how sad I am. This has hit me hard. He was so much like a brother to me after working together for over 30 years. This was a teacher who taught here for over 30 years. He was dearly loved by his teaching staff. We knew he would support us and have our backs when we deserved it. His leadership was a treasure to us all, and our school system was blessed to have him. He was a very special man and loved by many, many people. This is from one of his teachers. I appreciate all of you being here and having a chance to say this a little bit for him. Thank you.
Thank you. Certainly thank you for being here. Thank you for those that we reached out to gather pictures. Mr. Fears was my 7th grade math teacher and my principal when I was in middle school. And even though I had to walk in his shoes when I became principal here at this building, I can say they were shoes that were never filled by me and likely will never be filled by anyone else in here. And so I appreciate that we were able to honor the time that he gave and dedication that he gave to Middlesex County. And so those are my recognitions for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Seitz. We will now have educational highlights from Compass Academy.
All right, good
evening. I have with me tonight Miss Jill Shores, who is a retired teacher but has come back graciously to long-term substitute for us since we had a vacancy second semester, along with Courtney Harrow, who could not be here tonight. But I also have James Bareford, who is a senior at Compass Academy, and Isaac Brock, who is a junior at Compass Academy. And Ms. Shores is going to share with you guys tonight a little bit about the educational and field trip experiences that we have been able to provide to students. Our mission is really to allow students an alternative pathway to graduation, but also within that program allow a chance for them to be re-engaged in school. Not every student, but many of our students, when they come to us, are lacking some sort of engagement from a traditional setting. And so we really drive to get at what makes them tick, what makes them work hard in education, and get them re-engaged. So I will let them share a little bit about their experiences, and I will turn it over to Ms. Shores.
I'm just the substitute. So I came from the elementary school, which it's a little easier to get students to buy into being engaged in certain events and activities. And then I was blessed enough to accept this short-term position at Compass Academy, and wow, it's been amazing. And it takes a little bit more to get the high schoolers engaged, but they all buy into it. Maybe a little prodding, but once they're there, they love it. So I started in January, and some of the field trips that we have been on, the Black History and Cultural Museum in Richmond was wonderful. I learned things that I didn't know, so that was always a good trip. I believe they came away with a lot of things that they did not know either, and it provoked a lot of conversation between them, and anytime we can get high schoolers to have conversation about things that are happening in the world is a good time. They also volunteer at the Crier Center on Tuesdays. They pack foods for the food bank, they tear apart boxes, they do basically whatever's asked of them, and I have been several times, and their manners are impeccable, they are always willing to help, and they've never rolled their eyes or said no, so it is a very successful program, and it's nice to see them help. The Forge, so the Science Museum of Virginia in Richmond. As a third grade teacher, I did not know that this little place existed upstairs, but if you've ever watched Project Runway, it's kind of like that. There's stuff everywhere. And they had the opportunity to sew and just make, it's like a maker's heaven. Like there's stuff everywhere. So you come tell what you do at the Forge, because I just watched the one time. This is Isaac.
Hi. We made like quilts, or what we made? Yeah, we made like, yeah, freedom quilts and stuff. It was just basically our own design that we had. They just gave us random pieces and fabrics that we could stitch on. And they made us one time make little characters out of plastic. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, we really threw him on the spot. So the freedom squares that Isaac is speaking about came from this inspiration of a quilt that was observed last year at the Black History and Cultural Museum. And so we had this idea that these freedom squares were used to communicate underground railroad passageways to people that were enslaved and escaping to freedom, or on that journey to freedom. And so we had this conversation about these squares and the power of communication and how that represents each person and how does that translate to today. And so the students kind of worked with the Forge to design their own squares, and then we put together a Freedom Compass quilt, which is slightly different, but it was our interpretation of them uniting and finding something to communicate with each other about and some common ground.
And they used the sewing machine.
They learned it.
Yeah. So this is a quote from Brooklyn, one of our students. One of the projects that meant the most to me at the Forge was creating the Shrinky Dinks with David. The experience of making those meant a lot to me because it wasn't just a little piece of art, it was a piece that will stick with me forever because it connects us to the real world. So they got to choose what they wanted, and she was very excited. It was her first field trip, I think, and she said she was never getting rid of that thing. So that's from Brooklyn. They also volunteer with the Lions Club during Oyster Festival. They do MES Lunch Buddies, and that's been a really good program. They will play games at the tables with some of the students there at MES. They'll eat lunch with them and just have conversation. They have helped with the MES book fair, and sometimes they will go outside for recess and just interact with the children out there also. They did take a trip to the Virginia Beach Aquarium. That was before Jill. I did not get to go. And then they work closely with Hands Across Middlesex also, and RCC.
Yeah, we had some college tours as well.
Yeah.
So the purpose of all of these is really to get students reconnected. There's a picture here with Mackenzie, who's another one of our seniors that couldn't be here tonight due to some family situations. But she gave us some input and said, I'd love to see future trips go to the state fair, local farms, or to the zoo, connect those to our science classes and study career paths. So one of our purposes for these field experiences is to really build exposure and to get them invested. James, I think, fell in love with Lunch Buddies despite initial hesitation, but he's kind of taken it on to be a leader when we go into Lunch Buddies. And so I think, not to speak for them, but I think they've tapped into elements of the community that they never necessarily thought that they would tap into as a 17-year-old student in high school. So we are excited to see where their paths take them as they leave us. These are just some other pictures where we took advantage of Heritage Trail right up in Saluda. And Isaac found a snake on the tree. So it's just kind of going as we learn as we go. But we're excited to see where their paths take them. James will be graduating and going into the workforce, and Isaac will be starting RCC welding. He was accepted into the bridging program. So we are excited to see them continue to flourish. So thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you for the opportunity. I retired last May, and I knew I had a little bit left in my tank, and my tank's full now. But elementary school, the kids need you, and you know that. But I didn't know high schoolers still needed you. So it's been a very, very amazing time, and if you've never been to Compass Academy to see what Miss Norris has done there, it's an amazing place, and everyone should spend one day. Every teacher should go one day just to see. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm James' grandfather. I didn't write my name down to speak, but thank y'all.
Absolutely.
Was here.
Thank you very much. And if you are a student at Compass Academy or someplace else, or a parent of a student, and you need to go home and get ready for school tomorrow, you are welcome to stay, but you can also be excused right now. Or if you're a teacher, need to get ready. So we will now begin the public comment period.
We have just one, Misty Justice of the Pine Top District.
Hello, thank you for hearing me. I've reached out to each of you individually, and I've only heard from two of you. My daughter is with me today. She's a junior. We got the schedule for graduation next year, and 7 p.m. on a Thursday when kids have school the next day. And I don't think that's fair to them. They've worked hard. They missed their elementary school graduation because of COVID. They've missed too much. The two people who have responded to me said, well, the schedule's already been set. And we try to adjust our calendar to meet other counties. So I did research. I have a copy for everybody. These are various schools in our districts, when their graduations are next year, and how their schedule works out, so that hopefully we can reconsider the graduation so that they can be a priority and not a last-minute thing where we have to say, okay, you know, oh, teachers have school tomorrow, we got to wrap this up. You know, they deserve better than that. I really feel that they do. They've worked hard. They deserve to be proud. They deserve to have a full day to themselves, not an afterthought on a Thursday night. So that is what I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Are there other comments? Comment period is closed. We will now move to board member comments and reports. Mr. Reed?
We did have a meeting with the Board of Supervisors on the construction, not new school construction, but potential renovation and some new construction. And I think things went very well. We are making headway, so hopefully we can get something started here soon.
I was also at that meeting, of course, and I'd also asked Dr. Seitz to comment if she wishes to. She was there. We need a decision from the school board. I think that we've done all we can to convince them that we're all in favor of the plan that we've put forth. And we just need the supervisors to act. Dr. Seitz?
I would agree with that.
Okay. Then Ms. Robbins?
For me.
Nothing? Okay.
As you said previously, Bridging Communities has their commencement at New Kent High School at 6 p.m. And also I want to say thank you to the St. Clair Walker Band and Drama. They put on excellent shows. I got to partake in those in the last month. And also to the TSA, they did an excellent job down at States in Hampton against schools way bigger than us, and then actually swept won the dragster competition, which was very impressive. So I want to give them a congratulations.
Oh, nothing for me.
Caitlin?
So last Tuesday, we had volunteers from the National Honor Society helping guide student tours for Rising Freshman Night at MHS. He already mentioned TSA and Drama Club. And then this year's 8th graders have had the opportunity to create flyers for local sustainable farms, and they'll be sharing those with the community following finishing their book, The Omnivore's Dilemma. And then finally, last month, St. Clair Walker Builders Club participated in their final Book Buddies event at MES.
Thank you, and thank you for your service to the board and our community this year. You've done an excellent job.
Thank you.
And good luck at UVA.
Thank you.
So then we'll move on to action items. Let's have some action. Policy revisions, second reading. First action item is the second reading of the policy revisions.
So these policies were presented for first read last month. There's not been any changes to any of them since they were presented, just noted the things that we had to add on that evening, and so they are presented to you this evening for approval on second read.
May I have a motion to approve the policy revisions on second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, questions, comments? Hearing none. May we vote? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We have a new policy on first read.
Yes, that is policy IKEA, Middle School Mathematics Placement and Acceleration.
If you remember, this is one that was discussed a little bit several months ago, and we pushed it down the road until it was time that we actually need to have that policy in place. It is on, like I said, mathematics. It has been created with both Dr. Bishop and Carol Walsh, our mathematics specialist. And part of what we will be working on is the criteria for enrollment for advanced or accelerated courses for those that don't already meet that upper quartile requirement. And so did you have additional information to
Yeah, we have
share
a
on that?
little slideshow
Okay.
presentation. This is Carol and math teachers and I, we needed to comply with the, let's see, sorry. I think I messed things up. Okay, there you go. HB 2686, which required the school, all school divisions to come up with a policy for mathematics enrollment. And this is based on the upper quartile of the SOL assessments and will allow for parental opt-out and also additional pathways like an opt-in for math acceleration. We also have to have annual notifications with the enrollment process, the importance of middle school mathematics, which is a very important, those 3 years are very important for the foundation of future math, and also the impact of high school coursework, and also available courses and how that sequencing can work in the high school. Because you can take 2 classes, you can have algebra and geometry in your first year of high school, or you can have geometry and algebra 2 in your first year of high school, and you can double up with math at the high school level. And then at the end of the day, at the end of the year, we have to disaggregate that information for the state.
And so the, excuse me, the policy that we're providing for you is that enrollment for students would be contingent on availability of classes for those advanced students, and that we would be looking at students that when they test in 5th grade with their SOL, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, we would be looking at that upper quartile score. We won't get that from the state until this summer after all schools have tested. They put that into an algorithm and it spits it out and it tells us what that upper quartile score is. So based on that, there would be placement for students if those classes are available. And then additionally, we will also look at students for their aptitude for that advanced coursework. Additionally, the policy also states that we need to provide parents notification. So they have to have criteria of how those students could be enrolled in those advanced courses, and then opt-out procedures if they choose to opt out of those courses, because if the course exists and the student falls in that upper quartile, they would automatically be enrolled in that class. So there is an opt-out form for parents if they choose to do that. We also need to inform parents, and this is an annual notification, of the significance of middle school math, the importance of that foundational piece, because there is a lot of algebra in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade math that is really needed for them to be successful in Algebra 1 and the high school courses as well. And then also description of all the available division courses that we have.
And this is for the first, the first reading, and then we'll bring this back in June for approval by the school board. Are there any questions?
I have one. With test taking being what it is and somewhat challenging for some students, would there be an opportunity for you said opt-in?
Opt-in, or just looking at the aptitude, and I think that's what Dr. Walsh was speaking to, and looking at the overall scores. We don't do MAP anymore, that NWEA MAP, but we will do benchmarks, grades, assessments like that, and look at that whole child. We're building the tests out. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carol.
No, you're fine. So we do a lot of tests, and we do unit tests. We're looking at benchmark tests for next year. We also look at the holistically at the child, because we realize that one test, it's just like getting your temperature taken that day, and we understand that. But we are looking at that holistic view of a child as well. But what we really try and do is really make sure that a child is placed in a course that is challenging for them, but we also don't want to overwhelm a child where they're in an advanced course and they're spending a lot of time trying to catch up to where they need to be. we want to place them where it's challenging, but it's an appropriate placement for them. So we do look at the whole child when we're looking at those as well.
So the House bill essentially requires this placement, but you all are going to look at the holistic.
We would.
You're
We
taking
would
a
also
holistic
look-
approach to
The
make the
House bill
decision.
is, we would look at least at they're saying you have to look at those students that fall in the upper quartile.
Okay.
But
At
we
least
can look
that quartile.
beyond that to
Yeah.
see a more holistic view of some students based on scoring and their performance in classes. And we look at, their entire educational career as well. So we look at a lot of things. There are a lot of data points that we consider.
Great.
We can look at a student and all of a sudden they take the SOL test like, wow, I can't believe it was lower than we felt it was
Right.
going to be. So we'll look at those students.
Great.
Absolutely.
When you say these students are gonna move to like a upper quartile class, is it gonna be like a separate curriculum, or like say a sixth grader will move up to like the seventh grade math? How is that really gonna work?
Well, if it's, and we're still looking that depending on, we still have an opportunity to look at our students when they take the SLs, because math is tomorrow for our elementary and our middle school students. So we'll have an opportunity to look at scores to determine if we can offer courses. And if we are not able to offer a course for that particular student, let's say we have a few students that did very, very well and they should be accelerated in sixth grade math. We are part of a grant from the VDOE that's called an acceleration grant, and we have teachers involved in that. And so we're working with them to help them learn how to advance students within that grade level as well. Because we know sometimes in a small division, it's very difficult to provide separate courses for a few students. So we're working with teachers to help them provide that challenging instruction for students within the classrooms that they're in.
Other questions? I have one. The legislation says if the course is available.
Yes.
How likely do you think the course will be available?
We know that there should at least be one course available in the middle school, which would be our Algebra 1, and we've offered that before. And we believe that that will certainly be able to be available in the middle school. We're uncertain as to the others based on the number of students and where they fall, so we're going to have to wait a little bit to see that. We're also working with Dr. Sanders at the middle school to determine that as well.
Okay, thank you. There are no other questions, then I think we need a motion to approve this on first reading.
So moved.
Second?
Been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, Carol.
And then there is the draft of the Perkins Loan Plan and Budget for Career and Technical Education, which was in your packet of information.
Yep. I'll present
That's
that
you?
too.
Okay.
Yep. That's the 2026-27 Carl Perkins Plan. The Carl D. Perkins Career and Technical Education, also called Perkins, is federal funding to strengthen career and technical education in our schools. For the 26-27 school year, our division will receive about $29,000 in Perkins funding for high-quality learning opportunities for our students. These funds are upgrading classrooms, industry-specific equipment, expand opportunities for students to earn industry credentials, provide additional support for those students, and strengthen our teaching staff, for our students. The major focus next year is the development of our new Sports Medicine and Athletic Training 1 program, which will provide students with hands-on learning experiences and exposure to careers in healthcare, sports medicine, and rehabilitation services. So we're very excited about that. Through the Perkins funding, we are able to connect classroom instruction with real-world career skills, helping students graduate better prepared with post-secondary opportunities. So that is the Perkins plan.
So we are voting to approve.
That is correct.
The budget and the plan.
That's right.
Is there any, I need a motion first to approve the budget and plan.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next, the Title III statewide consortium application.
Yes, and Ms. Kathleen Velez, our Director of Special Education Programs, is going to present that and the next one also.
Good evening, Dr. Burnett, School Board Chair, Dr. Seitz, and school board members. I thank you so much for this opportunity to come up and speak to you tonight about our Title III consortium application. I'm here to present this information to you. It's an outline of our division's plan for using the federal funds that we are given to support our English learners and immigrant students. Our Title III allocation is currently $2,986.38. This application details how we as a school division provide meaningful and equitable learning opportunities in core subjects. It identifies 2 specific language instructional education programs, which we call LEAP, used by our school division: English as a second language, or ESL, you'll hear it referred to as, and content classes with integrated ESL support by our ESL teacher. It defines specific service hours for students based on their grade levels and English language proficiency levels. For example, grades 9 through 12, if they're a level 1.0 to 3.0, they get 60 minutes 2 times a week. If they're grades kindergarten at a level 1 to a 3, they may have 30 minutes 4 times per week. So it's really based on what level the students are at. Currently, our status for English learner population that justifies the need for funding is as follows. We have 24 students who are considered Ls, which is English learners. We have 1 full-time teacher who's endorsed, and our performance is really quite exceptional as far as I'm concerned. 54% of our English learners made progress, which was just below the state benchmark of 56%. So that's pretty incredible. And 13% have reached full proficiency. I have to give accolades to Miss Trish Wood. She has been just an amazing teacher, but in collaboration, she has worked with the Spanish teacher at the high school, as well as Kelly Cox, in doing some great things for our students who are English learners and really getting them involved in the community as well as with other students within their school. So with that, the funding is used to provide ongoing training for our general education teachers and our teacher assistants, as well as strategies for increasing our language acquisition for our students and supporting our teacher 4Ls in attending the consortium conference for Title III. So she gets to do a lot of collaborating and networking with fellow community members in different counties. So that is our Title III application in a nutshell.
Well, thank you. It's a great report. So may I have a motion to approve the application?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing no requests for discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And would you stay right there and talk about the local consolidated
I
application,
would be
please?
happy to.
Doctor.
For the local consolidated application for the 26-27 school year, this is a comprehensive plan and budget document that really encompasses the federal funding under Elementary and Secondary Education Act, or ESEA. It serves as a central point for coordinating various federal programs to ensure that our resources are aligned with our school division's educational goals, our vision, and our mission. It includes numerous educational professionals who get together on numerous occasions to be our Director of Finance, the Assistant Superintendent, myself, Danielle Daniel is a part of it, our math specialist, as well as our literacy specialist, and our Compass Director, and our middle school principal being Dr. Sanders, as well as anyone else who ends up coming to our wonderful meetings, where we talk about what we're doing with this funding. And so we have to look at what we have done and then make a program for the upcoming year. It is quite a lengthy application. So rather than going over it bit by bit, I tried to summarize it to the best of my ability because there's so many different parts. Title I, Part A is about improving basic programs. This is the largest portion of the funds that we receive, and it's typically used for instructional programs, student eligibility criteria, and school-wide programs, and it's primarily at the elementary level. MCPS uses these funds to support salaries and benefits. There is also a portion of the Title I funds that are used for parental involvement and outreach activities, as well as for our children identified as homeless. In this section, I believe, and I will look to my Director of Finance to make sure I read it correctly, $416,238.90. Then we have Title II, Part A, which is supporting effective instruction. These funds are generally used for professional development, recruiting and retaining high-quality teachers, and reducing class size. We as a school division use this money to support the class size reduction teacher. That teacher was in first grade this year. We will be moving that teacher position funding into second grade because that's our largest cohort that needs the class size reduction. That's $56,386.37. Then we have Title IV, Part A, which is student support and academic enrichment. This is used for a well-rounded educational program and opportunity, safe and healthy school environments, and the effective use of technology. MCPS, we choose to use this specific funds to support the teacher's salary at Compass with $28,547.72. There's an additional little set aside that is for our foster care and homeless, or McKinney-Vento, and that is overseen. It's anywhere between $500 and $1,000 we set aside to help people who are suffering from homelessness. So those children will have things like backpacks and paper and lunch, boxes and things of that nature, coats. We buy a lot of different things with that. So that is our local consolidated application for 26-27.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the local consolidated application for the 26-27 school year?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Then let's go to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Then we move on to information items, and the first item is policy regulation revision.
Right, so I have a new policy regulation, actually, that gets attached to the FMLA, or Family Medical Leave Act policy, that you just updated on second read. The regulation, you'll notice, is quite lengthy, and it was created because we did not have a regulation that went with that policy, but at the recommendation of the BSBA, the policy needed to be condensed and only have the items that, or specific information that's required to be in policy. So the bulk of what was in our current policy at the time got moved over to a regulation. And so we worked on that to make sure that was updated to current laws and policies. And so regulations you do not have to vote on, and so I bring it to you this evening as an information item, but I'm certainly happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions for Dr. Seitz on the regulation? I think then we can move on to Dr. Bishop's instructional report.
Take one of those and pass on. So May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It's a perfect time to talk about parent guidance and staff guidance. We all know that check-in is important, and that in a rural community it's very difficult to find professional mental health resources. So we partnered up with Cook Center. For our families, parentguidance.org. This is like a 24/7 website for our parents, on-demand courses, parent coaching. You can get a one-to-one coach where you just, on your phone, you could dial in and you can FaceTime someone who can just talk to you about parenting in general, families, just all the stuff that goes on in any family. And the goal for MCPS is just to provide that extra support for parents, for our families, to know that they're not alone, that they have some resources available for them. And for our educators, we have staffguidance.org. You can get a coach at staffguidance.org. Any of our employees can do that, prevent job burnout. There's a Cooper burnout rating scale that they use to start off the process. Not that everyone's burnt out, but it's a good way to start thinking about that with your coach. You can also just go there and look at different resources as well. And again, MCPS's goal is to provide just our profession, our staff and our faculty with just support, knowing that educating every day is difficult. The faculty and staff were challenged in the month of April to refer families and or themselves to sign up to either staff guidance or parent guidance. We did a form. They entered in the drawing, and today I'm proud to announce that Kelsey Eanes and Aaron Daddario won the raffle of one of the two shiatsu massagers from Cook Center, because Cook Center just gave them to us and said, hey, let's make sure we get this going. So I'm very, very proud of them to be on the front lines, to encourage parents to sign up and also encourage their staff the staff to sign up. And this isn't just a replacement for therapy, it's just about good quality support for our staff and our families. So if there's a flyer there, all the flyers at the school, and if you have any questions, it's on our website. And I'm looking forward to continuing the number of staff and families to join and to get that support.
Any questions? It's very good to know that support is available.
Yeah.
So then, Dr. Seitz, do you have a superintendent's report?
I do, a few things just to keep you updated on. So I'll start with budget. This is the first time that I have been sitting at a May meeting and telling you that the county does not have an approved budget yet. They have posted, though, for public hearing, their budget, which includes the school budget, is why I bring that up in that. And so they have a public hearing scheduled for May 21st. Then with discussion and vote to follow the following Thursday, which is May 28th. Mrs. Murray and I attended the county's work session last week to listen to that discussion. We didn't receive any questions, but we did receive some questions the following day when we attended the regular Board of Supervisors meeting, because we had items that needed to be approved just to move over to the correct line items. And so I did get a question of how we were covering the compensation increase that we are giving. And I explained that this year we are receiving additional state funding, and that we also looked into our own budget to see what could be eliminated so that we were still continuing to provide the same level of service that our students needed. And so we were, as you're aware, we eliminated 4 positions. There were some one-time items that we either cut or deferred, and with doing that, we were able to use the additional state funds with a reduction in local funds for this year of about $167,000 to be able to provide the compensation that you all had approved in the past budgets. And so our contracts went out last week and were returned today for the 26-27 school year. I got some additional questions on if we were going to come back for 27 and 28 and ask the county to pick up the additional compensation that we were able to provide for this year. And my answer was, I don't have a budget for FY 27-28, nor does the county, nor does the state. And so I can't answer a question on what 27-28 looks like. We have lots of students still enrolling for next year. You'll see lots of non-resident applications, so I'm not concerned about enrollment.
which affects our ADM and the level of funding we get from the state, but I certainly was not able to answer a question on what I thought our ask would be for the 27-28 school year. So it just puts all of our counties and localities in a unique situation. I've been communicating with Delegate Hodges about that and the predicament that we're in. And so that's the latest update budget-wise. We have 13 days of school remaining. If you are a parent or a student or a teacher, you know that already. And I was joking earlier that I was going to say in my superintendent's report that you've been provided a list of all the senior activities and end of year activities, which you are going to get emails because you have not been provided that this evening. So that's coming in an email. Everything is fast and furious. Finishing out the year, some of the things you've already mentioned. I've been to some athletic events. I have been to band concerts, the Fairy Tale Misfits play, which was the cutest thing I think I've ever seen. And I come to the plays every year, but it was just a cute rendition of fairy tales, and the kids handled it so well. As mentioned, high school band and choir performance is Wednesday evening. So, and then you'll have that list, that more detailed list. Dr. Bishop and I are working on the details for our administrative retreat. That's with our administrators, our directors, and our specialists. And we do that as soon as the school year closes. We graduate on Saturday, and then Wednesday and Thursday we are together for 2 days looking at and evaluating data programs and all of those things to set our priorities for the next year that are tied to our strategic plan. And so that is what I have for superintendent's report.
Please put the 28th of May on your calendars to attend the supervisor's budget meeting.
The 21st is the public hearing piece, and then
The 21st will be the time?
21st is public hearing,
The
28th is when they have their discussion and vote.
So we should be there for the 21st, do you recommend?
I will be at both, but if you want to speak, the 21st is
Okay.
where you would have the
And
opportunity to speak.
that was the meeting we attended last year, I think.
Yes.
So I think the 21st would be the date. So please put that on your calendars. Last year, we had perfect attendance, and perfect attendance is good.
I think we all spoke also.
Yes, you did.
So, old business. Is there any old business? I think we do have some new business.
We do. The Code of Virginia requires that when a superintendent's contract is being renegotiated, all members of the school board shall be notified at least 30 days in advance of any meeting at which the vote is planned on the renegotiated contract, unless the board members agree unanimously to take the vote without the 30-day notice. And I would like to move to waive that 30-day notice and vote on the renegotiated contract at our June 8th regular meeting.
And so we lack, I think, 2 days.
2 days, yep.
So we're at 28 before the June meeting, and we need to waive that requirement, and a motion has been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Pursuant to the Code of Virginia, the board will now go into closed session to discuss personnel matters, student matters, and legal matters. May I have a motion to go into closed session, please?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are now in closed session. Sometimes it's cold in there.
I don't have any more brown.
Want me to bring your coat?
I got this already.
I believe so, I'll double check.
I was, it was somebody with the last name Walker, I think, who was here for 1 year. And then James Lane was here for 2 years.
Right.
Then I took it. Mhm.
Yeah, Joe was one.
He was. He was a neat person. Certainly was.
The only.
May I have a motion to return to open meeting?
So moved. Second.
It has been moved and seconded to return to open meeting. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Pursuant to the Code of Virginia, the board discussed personnel matters, student matters, and legal matters, I guess, during closed session. Matters discussed in closed session have been added to the consent agenda and other parts of the agenda as action and information items. Members of the board, please certify that only lawful matters were discussed in closed session. Board members will respond by roll call vote.
Dr. Burnett,
Yes.
Mr. Kennedy,
Yes.
Mrs. McMahon,
Yes.
Mr. Reed,
Yes.
Mrs. Roberts.
Yes.
Motion, may I have a motion to approve the items in the consent agenda?
Second?
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. If there is no further business, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I dare you to say.